The NFL draft is rapidly approaching, and one of the more fun things about it is the trade ups as well as the trade downs, especially the trade downs. Hey, lots of guys on board that you like. Similarly, on your board, trade down, get an extra pick, and get a little bit of extra love in the draft as Kwesi looks to reload this roster. Well, it's not rebuild, but it's a reload with even more talent. So we have 4 trade up as well as 4 trade down scenarios. Now, I don't particularly see the Vikings trading up. They're sitting at 12 in the first round. They also have 46th and 72nd in the 77th in the second and third rounds, respectively. So I don't see the Vikings moving up. Now, you generally want to move up for a quarterback, and the Vikings probably ain't going to do that, but they could for a cornerback, because I think that the top end of this cornerback class is extremely high. You have Sauce Gardner, you have Derek Stingley Jr., you got Trent McDuffie, you got Andrew Booth, but if the Vikings are sold, like if they think that Sauce Gardner is a true blue cornerback one, that they cannot come away from this draft without him, they're going to have to maneuver, because I think the pipe dream of him landing at 12 is gone. Maybe even Stingley making it to 12 after he blows up his pro day to die. Maybe that's out the window. So they might have to maneuver a little bit. And the obvious candidates would be, let's take 2. Would be the 2 New Jersey football teams that have multiple first-round picks in the top 10. So you have the Giants at 5 and 7. They also have a second rounder at 36 and a third in 67. And the Jets have 4, 10, and they also have 2 second-round picks as well. Now, if Sauce Gardner, I think 4 or 5, maybe they don't do that, but if Sauce Gardner is still on the board at 10, if Sauce Gardner is still on the board at 7, maybe the Vikings could and should make a move. Again, if Kwesi and Kevin O'Connell and Ed Donatel and Durante Jones see him, they're like, hey, we cannot function without him. Sauce Gardner will come in and be that alpha cornerback one, immediately be a top 10 corner in the league and ascending, then I would understand. Then I could see it. But maybe Sauce is off the board. Hell, he could go as early as 3 to the Texans, maybe even 2 to the Lions. We don't even know. But if Stingley is then deemed the guy, of course, a history with Durante Jones, prior to LSU, former Justin Jefferson teammate, as well as Patrick Peterson, LSU connection, could be a great mentor there. Would moving up to 10 possibly get that done, leapfrogging Washington, who certainly could be in the market for a cornerback at 11. Yes, that could be a possibility. Also, we'll throw in there the Falcons. So Falcons at 8. I do think Atlanta is going to be in the market for a quarterback, but 8 might be a little bit rich. Maybe they circle back at 43, try and get Desmond Ridder, try and get Sam Howell, maybe Matt Corral falls out of the first round. Who knows? But the Falcons at 8, they could go a lot of different directions. They do have a lot of needs. They could go edge, they could go O-line, they could go wide receiver because of Calvin Ridley. But if the Vikings if Sauce Gardner somehow makes it to 8, I think getting ahead of Seattle at 9 would make a lot of sense, or even the Jets at 10, because I think the Jets would just take Sauce Gardner if he was there on the board at the bottom of the top 10. Lastly, so I just threw the Texans on there at 3 just to have some balance. I don't think that they would ascend up this high. Generally, you don't move up this high unless you're going for a quarterback. Plus, ascending this high in the draft is going to cost you multiple first-round picks. I just asked the Niners, who moved up to 3 last season. It cost them 3 first-round picks and change to go get Trey Lance. So, Now, trading down is a lot easier depending on what happens with the board, because teams that want to trade up, obviously they have to be targeting a certain player or a certain position. And we outlined those scenarios right now. So the Saints, I don't think the Saints are going to stick and pick. I do think that they're going to maneuver up. I think that if they're sold on a quarterback in this draft, I don't think that they're going to be shy about going up and getting him. Now, the jump from 16 to 12 or 19 to 12 is a lot lower than going up to 3, going up to 8. Well, they won't trade up to 8 because the Falcons will never do business with them. Same thing with the Falcons at 6. Same thing with the Panthers at 6. So moving up to 12 for the Vikings, I do think that Malik Willis is going to get selected in the top 11 picks, but if they're all in on, say, Kenny Pickett, if they're all in on, say, Desmond Ridder, and they want to keep him away from teams like the Steelers, etc., maybe the Saints, it would make sense for them to maneuver up a little bit. So we will take your finest second-round picks. How about we'll give you 12 for 19 and 49 and a 7th rounder? Who says no? I mean, come on, Saints. Next up. So you got the Chargers at 17. They lack a second-round pick, but I do think that if one of the premier offensive tackles, whether it be Charles Cross or whoever, falls to 12, I think that the Chargers could move up and make a play for him, because I think that their offensive line, it's been greatly improved and revamped. Rashawn Slater is looking like an all-world left tackle, and now they have this opportunity. If they can just figure it out at right tackle, then they have bookends. Now they could stay put and take a guy like Trevor Penning, but if they're really in on, again, if Charles Cross falls, come and get some. Come and get some. Next up, got the Steelers at 20. So this is the one that we talked about before. This is outlined by Chad Reuter from NFL.com. But the Steelers are sitting at 20. And even though it's only 8 spots, because it's for a quarterback, that's where your leverage comes in if you're the Vikings. And it's going to cost you. So I would say, I don't know, 12 for 20, 52, as well as a future first rounder. I mean, that might be a little bit steep. Maybe the Vikings can throw in a 5th round pick or a couple 6, but hey, we're going to stand our ground. If you want your quarterback, say Malik Willis somehow, some way makes it to 12, probably unlikely, or Kenny Pickett or Desmond Ridder or whoever you see as your top quarterback. Hey, Steelers, holler at us. There you go. Lastly, trade down scenario for the Vikings. Got the Bengals. Because maybe the Bengals were just so used to drafting in the top 10 or the top half of the first round, so they're just like, we got to get all up in there. But Bengals, they've done a lot of good things in terms of fixing the offensive line and free agency, but this draft class, it is top-heavy. And if they see a guy like Charles Cross, if they see a guy like Linderbaum, if they see a guy like Kenyon Green there at 12, maybe they make a move. Maybe they make a play for him, because there is a big difference between those guys, as well as throwing Zion Johnson, Trevor Penning as well, versus what could be there at 31. So if they want to secure the future and health of Joe Burrow, hey, come get us. Come get us, man. How about 31, 63, and 95 for 12 and a 5th round pick? Who says no? I mean, come on, Bengals. There you go. Anyways, that's it. Let's take a look at a couple of trade up as well as trade down scenarios for the Vikings in the draft. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work, put a little something in the Venmo. But until next time, Skol, production value.